So the old saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And just like any truly great artist or photographer can conjure up an image that elicits such a response, so too can a really great actor, even with just 2 words.
Kalel, no!
Yeah. The late great Sir Ian Holmes' portrayal of Bilbo Baggins, the adventurous but also comfort-loving connoisseur of the finest weeds of the South Farthing, in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy is perhaps understated, yet also played perfectly. And even though Bilbo isn't on screen for too long, at least relative to the length of the movies, he plays such a pivotal role in the entire story. First, by relinquishing the ring and handing it down to Frodo, which is no small feat, and secondly, as alluded to by Gandalf in Moria, by sparing Gollum back during his own adventure to the Lonely Mountain, allowing for Smeagol to play his essential role in the destruction of the One Ring. So, even though we don't get a lot of Bilbo, every second he's on screen, Ian Holm is delivering the goods. And what a treat to see 2 amazing actors sharing the screen together. So, let's set the scene a little bit before we dive into these 2 words that offer us so much about Bilbo Baggins' character. Gandalf has returned to Bag End for Bilbo's 11th birthday. While discussing Bilbo's plans to leave the Shire, Gandalf suggests Frodo is aware that Bilbo is up to something. Bilbo, of course, dismisses the concern with a prideful retort. Of course Frodo suspects something. He's a Baggins, not some blockheaded bracegirdle from Hardbottle after all. Gandalf urges Bilbo to inform Frodo of his plans, to which Bilbo dismisses again, yes. Perhaps Bilbo isn't interested in a deep conversation with his old friend, or perhaps he doesn't want to be swayed from what he's going to do. Gandalf, clearly aware and invested in both hobbits, finds the right note to get Bilbo to open up. He's very fond of you. And this was the key to opening up Bilbo. The prideful walls come down.
I know. He'd probably come with me if I asked him. I think in his heart Frodo's still in love with the Shire. The woods, the fields, little rivers.
Unbeknownst to Gandalf, and perhaps the audience at this point, Bilbo starts to relay the effects the One Ring is having upon him.
I'm old, Gandalf. I know I don't look it, but I'm beginning to feel it in my heart. I feel thin, sort of stretched, like butter scraped over too much bread.
This short interaction between 2 friends gives us such insight to Bilbo's character at this contemporary stage in the Third Age of Middle-earth. And while there's some blatant exposition going on, there's 2 words uttered by Bilbo that I have been fascinated with for over a decade at this point, and they give us so much insight into how Bilbo is feeling. I'll let you take a guess as to which 2 words I'm talking about. It's little rivers, and if you got that, really nice work, and if you didn't, there's no blame here, it's pretty obscure. It's buried within the dialogue and immediately followed by the evocative line about feeling thin, like butter scraped over too much bread. But there's something in these 2 words, in particular Ian Holmes' delivery of these 2 words, that really capture my interest and, in my opinion, again, gives us so much. Firstly, describing them as little. It's not pejorative in any way, it's filled with affection. Almost similar to Boromir later in the movie describing Merry and Pippin as the little ones. Having just ventured through Hobbiton with Gandalf and Frodo, we have a real grasp of the sheer beauty and idyllic nature of the Shire. I myself, I am so lucky to live out in the Wiltshire countryside here in sunny England, and man, there's something about the English countryside, particularly in summertime, that is so evocative, so wonderful, so... I don't really know the word to describe it, but it's so magical, and you can just see why Tolkien was so adamant in his want and need to preserve it. And Peter Jackson manages to capture that magic, albeit in New Zealand. All that to say, we have a picture of what Bilbo is referring to. Ian Holm whispering little rivers, It emphasises a warm fondness, but there's something so much more in there as well. There's melancholy, there's sadness, maybe even a little bit of detachment. Frodo may still be in love with the Shire, but Bilbo is not. He has outgrown the comfort of the Shire, whether through his own experiences out on adventure, or through the influence of the ring, or more likely a combination of the two. There's almost a feeling of longing. Is it Bilbo wishing he still felt those feelings of attachment, or him just offering up quiet reflection, similar to how we may remember an old memory we cherish? It's not a bitter rejection of the Shire. Bilbo still clearly appreciates its beauty and has fond memories, but he's detached from it. The Shire no longer holds him the way it once did, and continues to do so with Frodo. It's two words that beautifully humanises Bilbo, or hobbitizes him. It's not a cold abandonment of home. It's acknowledgement of a place that he loves, or loved, but one that he must leave. A bittersweet moment, affection for what was, sadness that it no longer fits, and, with all the context before and after, a pull towards the next and likely final chapter of Bilbo's life. It might be worth looking at the equivalent dialogue from the book here actually, just briefly. I want to see the wild country again before I die, and the mountains. But he is still in love with the Shire, with woods and fields and little rivers. Now we've probably read this a number of times, but without delivering that same level of nuance and magic that Ian Holm finds in his delivery of the line. He elevates the dialogue, and that is a sign of a true master at work. I guess it always helps as well when you've got Howard Shore's amazing score in the background. Man, they truly nailed these films. Like, you'd hope it would just be a blueprint for what's to come, but lightning in a bottle, I guess. Now here, some of you might say, like, mate, you are reading way too much into this. And yeah, like, you're probably right, but there's something about generational art that inspires and invokes and almost implores you to delve into it, to analyse even the smallest details. There's a reason I keep coming back to these movies. And there's a reason you keep coming back to these movies. And it's not just because of the absolute dross that Hollywood shits out nowadays. There's magic on that screen. The cast and the crew delivering their absolute best in the roles that they have. And none more so than the late and truly great Sir Ian Holm. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Cheers.